All right, Craig Button joins us this morning. Craig, I get the sense you're a big banana pepper guy. You probably really like these things, don't you?
I do like banana peppers. I absolutely do. I like peppers. I like jalapenos. I like serranos. I got all kinds. I like Thai peppers. I like some heat. I don't mind some heat. So I can't believe you've never had a banana pepper. Banana peppers are mild. Like they're nothing. They're
really? Okay, good. Good.
Yeah, they're nothing, right, Eric? They're nothing.
No, on the whole scale. Have you ever entered one of those contests, Craig, where you have to sign the waiver form and wear the gloves and all that?
Ones,
yeah, with the measurements.
No, and I never would. I'll tell you why. Like, why do you have to do that? Like, somebody took me one time to Toronto. You got to try these wings. They're the hottest wings on the world. They'll burn your mouth. I go, I'm not eating wings to just burn my mouth. I eat wings because I enjoy eating wings. Like, seriously. So, no, I'm never going into a contest where I got to put on gloves to handle food to put in my mouth where it'll be even hotter. Not happening.
It doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, it really doesn't. You're right. Craig Button with us on the show this morning. Craig is brought to you by Pro-Am Sports. And, of course, if you are watching on YouTube, subscribe to our channel. We very much appreciate it. Connor McDavid returns to the lineup last night. They brought him back and had him with McDavid and Draisaitl and Hyman last night. We were discussing, they do go to it quite often. Should it just be the norm for this team? Do you think the Oilers are in a spot to play those guys together on a regular basis?
Well, I mean, am I going to tell Chris Knobloch he shouldn't? What happened here in Connor's 3-game absence is that, Nuge moves back into the middle of the ice. And so I think that for Chris Knobloch, again, I just love the fact that he's got these options. Yeah. And, when the playoffs begin, teams are going to try to load up to stop you. And how can you load up to gain an advantage? And I think Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is a really valuable player, right? Because he can do so many things for your team in so many different spots. And now, because of Ryan being able to do the things he does, I think, you can go to that option and force teams. And it's not even so much forcing teams into a vulnerable spot because they can load up. But what does it do for the next group of players coming up? They're not going to have to face the same type of harder competition that Draisaitl, McDavid, and Hyman are going to face. So I think that it not only gives you a chance to load up and take advantage because those guys are hard to stop, but it also gives the other players a little bit of an easier matchup, shall we say.
Pickard stepped in last night. Skinner's wife having their second child. Pickard stepped in. He won again. I mean, he's funny because we watch him play and we sometimes describe him as a bit of a street hockey goalie. Like he does whatever he needs to do to get in front of pucks. But you can't ask for anything more from your backup than just to continue to win you hockey games. What's your level of confidence in this goaltending duel the Oilers have, for a team that's viewed as a Stanley Cup favorite / contender?
100%. And you might go, oh, geez, really 100%? Sure it's not 95? No, it's 100%. And here's why. I wanted to give the answer before I gave my rationale for it. The rationale for it is this, is that what are you going to try to upgrade? How are you going to try to upgrade? Like, are you going to upgrade Stuart Skinner? Stuart Skinner is a really good goaltender. Who are you going to upgrade him with? You're Shesterkin? You're just and keep in mind the salary that Stuart Skinner is making too, so that all fits, right? Then you got Calvin Pickard, who, as you point out, sometimes we get too caught up in form. And you remember when quarterbacks, imagine Patrick Mahomes playing like 20 years ago. People would have said, well, you can't have him. He's not a drop back quarterback, like Lamar Jackson. But you open up your mind to different ideas depending on what your team's structure is. And again, who are you going to upgrade Calvin Pickard with? I honestly, guys, I laugh when I hear, oh, the Edmonton Oilers shopping for a backup goaltender. They're going to find a better backup goaltender than Calvin Pickard right now? Like, good luck. Good luck. So I'm like, again, unless you got something massive happening. No, I got 100% call. And they went to Game 7 last year in the Stanley Cup playoffs, where they both contributed.
Yeah, they both had huge wins along the way last year. Pickard, when needed to, stepped up as well. You mentioned, what are you going to be shopping for? If you were running the Oilers right now and the deadline closing in here, still a little bit of time, but they brought in Klingberg. We haven't seen him yet. What would be your shopping list right now for the Edmonton Oilers in the window that they're in?
I'd like more size on the walls. I'd like more size on the walls. If I could find a second line winger, I mean, Kane's coming back. If I could find a second line winger, upgrade on Arvidsson in size, push Arvidsson maybe down the lineup. And again, you need blue liners. You need length on the blue line. So it doesn't have to be, a top four defenseman, but get some length and get some weight on the back end. For depth. One of the things that did in the Dallas Stars last year, they were a contender. I mean, 6 games versus the Edmonton Oilers. But once Hakanpää got hurt, they were down to 5 defensemen. You're not going to win unless you got depth. And it doesn't have to be like these top 4 guys, but you need depth, you need weight, you need length on the back end. And the Dallas, made some moves getting Tanev, but when Hakanpää went down, they had no options. They had 5 defensemen.
TSN's Craig Button joining us this morning on the Nielsen Show. Craig, I wonder your thoughts, and whenever there's a Vegas Golden Knight player that is discussed with injury, long-term, short-term, whatever, people, especially in this market, tend to wince. Alex Pietrangelo, we all know, dropping out of Four Nations. I just wanted your thoughts. Is this domino one of some other dominoes to fall prior to the tournament? Should we be expecting more announcements like this? And who would you see right now as a good fit to replace him on that lineup?
Yeah, it's funny, when you think about what's going on, Vegas, Pietrangelo. But Pietrangelo played the other night. I think that he's looking at it, and whatever his ailment is, he's saying, I got to manage this. And he's saying 2 weeks of rest is going to help me manage it. And 2 weeks of playing at the Four Nations tournament isn't. And, you respect the decisions of the players to do that. There doesn't appear to be anything like with respect to long-term injury reserved for. I'll just say that doesn't appear, but who knows? Anyway, I think you can go 2 ways. Well, Jamie McLennan and I talked about this yesterday on TSN. So I said, if you want to go a little bit more offensive, it's Evan Bouchard. And again, people, I'm shaking my head, as you probably can see, and. Like the Edmonton Oilers are a top defensive team in the National Hockey League, and Evan Bouchard is a part of that. People say he can't play defense. I would just like people to go and watch Evan Bouchard for 2 games and then come back and tell me he can't play defense. So Evan Bouchard, if you want a little bit, if you want to go more the defensive side, I would say Chris Tanev. If you say we want that Ben, I think Chris Tanev is the best defensive defenseman, quite frankly, in the NHL. And then one of the best, because that would be dismissing number 14 in Edmonton, who's pretty bloody good, I'll tell you. And then Jamie brought up Mackenzie Weegar as a guy that can play the left side right shot or play the right side right shot. So those are, I thought Jamie made a really good suggestion on Weegar, but those would be 3 guys that I think would be more than capable. There's a lot of talk about Drew Doughty.
Yeah.
Like if I'm the LA Kings, sorry, Drew, you're not going to play in that. I mean, they're saying now that he might play in the next 3 to 5 games. That's not enough games to get ramped up to go play at high level competition. So as much as Drew Doughty has been an integral member of Team Canada over the last number of years and tournaments, I don't think that having him not playing a single game yet this year, maybe 1 or 2 before the tournament, is a good option.
Craig, before we let you go, we just haven't had a chance to chat with you since that blockbuster between Colorado, Carolina, and I guess Chicago sprinkled in there as well. Mikko Rantanen to the Hurricanes. Does that make them the team to beat in the East? Undoubtedly.
No, not at all.
Okay.
In fact, I don't think it makes them like, it might nudge them ahead a little bit. Their blue line isn't, in my view, they don't have a big enough, strong enough blue line. They lost Pesci. They lost Brady Shea. They don't have a second line center, which is where Necas plays. I think Necas is a way better center than a winger. And now they're going to put him on the wing in Colorado. I don't think Colorado's a better team without Rantanen. You listen to Nathan McKinnon. You talked about, I think they made a move, and he's a unique superstar, Rantanen. And I think the Colorado Avalanche are a weaker team now than they were with Rantanen. And I don't think that the Carolina Hurricanes are undoubtedly the contenders. Like, you don't have a second line center. Like, you tell me Sebastian Aho is going to get the advantage on Barkov? Not a chance. And then you got to go play against Bennett and Lundell? Not a chance. The blue line isn't big enough. It's not deep enough. The goaltending's always been one of those things. What are you going to get come playoff time? And so, like, big bold move. I don't think they're. I mean, Ratman's a hell of a player. He's a unique superstar, but I don't think they're now the favorites in the East. Not at all.
Craig, as always, man, we really appreciate the time. Thanks a lot for popping by.
Yeah, eat those banana peppers.
I will.
They won't burn your tongue. Trust me, Dustin. And if they do, then you can hold my feet to the fire.
I don't know who to trust. I don't know who to trust. I'll trust you, Mr. Button. There you go. That's Craig Button.